What's going on, everybody? My name is James, and I've been selling on eBay for 23 years full time. And eBay's made a lot of changes over the last few years to the website. And I'm going to give you a rundown on a few of those changes. And are they for the better or for the worse? The ones that I've got listed today are for the worse. So let's get into it. Now, for me, the worse means it takes longer time. Being a volume seller on eBay, my time is limited. I want to spend as little time as possible doing simple tasks. So all the examples I'm going to give you today in this video have pushed my time of working longer instead of, with technology, making it shorter and quicker. So let's go. First, we're going to talk about eBay app. The eBay app, the main change on there that has really slowed down my progress is the drafts. If you take pictures in drafts, they will not update automatically. What I mean, if you have a list of, say, 10, 100 different drafts, you take a picture, you hit done, it does not update automatically. You have to refresh it each time to see that picture pop up. So if you're taking pictures of a bunch of blanks, it can take a little bit longer to take those pictures and to keep everything organized and in place because it will not automatically update. Another thing on the eBay app I've noticed is it crashes a lot more often than it used to. It'll crash in the middle of taking a set of pictures, and then you have to start those pictures all over again. That is very time consuming and happens about every 10 to 15 listings that I do. Now we're going to go to the eBay desktop, and we're going to start with the newest change, and that is the change to the active listings in your Seller Hub. It now takes longer just to do a simple task like sending offers. Sending offers to watchers used to be a 2-step process, is now a 6-step process. Also, just finding the offers that watchers have sent to you now takes longer to find those. Just an extra step. Each extra step adds seconds onto your day. And when you want to list volume, you need to have seconds taken away, not added on. And everything that eBay's done in the past couple of years has added time on to your actual work instead of taking it away. Next up, we'll talk about traffic. Traffic in the Seller Hub. That shows you what items, how many items have sold, how many impressions you're getting and whatnot. Since they have changed the graph is much harder to read. So it takes longer to sit there and try to wrap your head around what's going on. Not only that, they have separated the impressions, the views, and the sold into 3 different sections instead of where before it was all in one section and you could weed out which section you didn't want to look at if you chose to. So now it is harder and takes more time to even just see your numbers on eBay. Now another change, we're going to go into feedback. They've changed the feedback system, and the one thing about feedback is could be either good or bad. It's harder to see feedback these days. Now, as doing this 23 years, I've learned that feedback means nothing. You have 25 to 30% of your sellers who actually leave feedback. So the feedback numbers are never accurate. They never have been accurate. They never probably will be accurate until they start updating it to where if somebody doesn't leave a feedback, you automatically get a positive feedback after so many days. So the feedback has never been accurate, but it is harder to see it. And another big problem with the feedback is now that it's on your item page. But that's not the problem. The problem is it doesn't update, it seems. I've had a neutral feedback on all my item pages, first and foremost, for 6 months now. Yet I've gotten 4,000 positives since that neutral feedback. But yet that neutral feedback is being presented as the top feedback on my page. Does that hurt sales? It can hurt sales. What if it's a negative? Then it's really going to hurt sales. Why do I have a neutral as the prominent feedback on my item pages on all 57,000 items when I've gotten 4,000 positives since that? So that's it's just not very well thought out, I would say. So for all those items, what it looks like is they are trying to design it more for the app than for, say, a desktop, being they got rid of drop downs, changed it to more of an app feel where things just pop up and you have to just do more clickings to get where you want. But in my opinion, even on the app, that's not really a smart way, because who's really going to take the time? It's more about convenience, quickness, and what have you these days, especially if you're competing with somebody like Amazon, who can get you the item almost in the same day at some times. So making things harder to see, harder to find, harder to use, harder to get to, it's not a winning recipe for success, in my opinion. And I think it's going to come back and really bite the website in the booty, if you know what I mean. And now we're going to get into a couple of the main problems with changes lately on eBay that I think all of us can agree upon. First up is advertising other sellers on our item pages. Now, we, as store owners on eBay, we pay a monthly subscription for our stores, yet eBay allows other sellers' items to appear on our item page. If you look at an item page, you have basically just the size of your picture that you've got listed. That top area, that's pretty much all you got. You got your little feedback down below and maybe a little bit for your description. Everything else, and that might take up 1/8 of the page, 1/16 of the page. Everything else is designed to take people away from your item. And this has greatly increased the cancellation orders. I know, at least for me, I get many more a day than I used to. And this hurts sale for individual sellers, but they do it because the promotions, if somebody clicks on it, it makes them the extra money. So in turn, they don't really care about if your item sells. All they're worried about is selling an item that somebody clicked on promoted to buy. So if somebody finds your item without a promotion, like you get them there, you share your item on, say, Facebook or any other social media platform, so you get somebody to your item without any promotion costs, eBay's job at that point is to get them to click on somebody else's listing via a promotion cost, so they put more money in their pocket. That is not good for us individual sellers. And last but not least, the search engine on eBay. Now, I don't know, it's still up for debate on if this is a change, if this is just a problem-stricken change, if it's just AI learning and always seems to go backwards instead of forward. Whatever the case may be, the eBay search engine is probably the very top of the worst change so far on eBay. How many times have you typed an item in, what you're looking for, and it brings up consistently things that have nothing to do with what you're searching for? How about you try to type in specifics, say like a blue shirt, but yet it brings up every color of that said shirt? It will not narrow it down all the time. It's hit and miss. That's when I say is AI, if it's learning, it seems to be going backwards. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt and is greatly hurting eBay sellers. And probably my last search problem that I'm just not fond of at all, that just a one simple word can totally change your search feed. So if you, whether that's the and sign, an apostrophe, the word and, hell, even just a word in the title of what you're looking for, you type in, if you're looking for, there's a band I was looking for the other day called Three Merry Widows CD. If you type in Merry Widows CD, just because maybe you forgot the name, complete name, because there's a lot of bands out there, 7 Mary 3, blah, 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 who have numbers at the beginning of their names. So say you were looking for Three Merry Widows, you forgot what number it was, so you just put in Married Widows CD. You're not going to get the CDs that have the number 3 in the title. Why is that? Everything you typed in the title is in that title, But because you left that 3 out, those items are not going to come up. They're not going to be shown until deeper down into the listing. So it could come up and say there's 0, but yet if you scroll down, you will see that there are some. That is my biggest pet peeve with the search engine so far, with all these changes, is that it's extremely hard to find what you're looking for. And that is not only hurtful to the sellers, it's hurtful to eBay, and it's hurtful to the buyers, because guess what? They're just going to go someplace else. eBay has done a lot of changes that have sent sellers elsewhere and have done a lot of changes that sent buyers elsewhere. So if you think about all these changes, is there any positives? Is there any positives to all the changes? I can think of one right off the top of my head. One. The drafts now can go for 75 days without being deleted on their own. Maybe. Because how many of us have had just drafts disappear randomly? That is probably a glitch, a problem. And we know that eBay's full of those these days with all these changes. And I didn't want to get into that topic in this video. This was just about the changes and how they are setting sellers back instead of moving them forward. It's sending buyers away instead of bringing them in. It's causing a lot more chaos and a lot less unity as a great reselling, buying platform. And I just wanted to bring these changes to light just in case somebody out there in the eBay universe actually cares what somebody who's been selling on eBay full-time for 23 years feels about some of the changes they've made, being that it does not seem that they do a test. First off, they don't seem to test the procedures before they implement them, so they can implement them and they not work at all, kind of like the change to the Seller Hub active listings. The day it changed, the drop down, or the trying to separate the things, they didn't even work. So they implement things without even checking them, and they definitely make the changes without getting input from actual sellers. It feels like that people are doing it have nothing to do with selling on eBay. They don't know what selling on eBay is all about, and they have no clue how it's impacting sellers. So if anybody out there in the eBay upper universe cares to understand what these changes are doing and how they are affecting sellers, that's the reason for this video and why I wanted to make a point out that you are slowing people down instead of advancing them. Technology is supposed to make things quicker, make things faster, and you're just setting sellers back so it takes longer to do simple tasks. All right. Thanks, everybody. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.